Hello, and welcome to this episode of Hallam TV. This is our new one-on-one feature where I'm going to be interviewing marketing professionals, and together we will be sharing our skills, knowledge, and experience. Now, today, I'm delighted to be welcoming Nicky Astle to our interview. Nicky is the marketing manager at Rayburn Tours, and she has more than 20 years marketing experience and leads a team of 9 marketing professionals. Now, a little bit about Rayburn Tours. Rayburn Tours is a group travel specialist. They create tailor-made trips for school groups, for adults, whether they be cultural events, educational events, sports events. It is an independent family-owned business with over 90 travel experts, and they send more than 23,000 people on passengers around on trips around the world. Now, like many industries, the travel and tourism sector has been hit quite hard by the pandemic, and that's one of the reasons why I wanted to invite Nicky here today. What I'd like to do is to figure out what Nicky is doing, to learn a little bit more about what Nicky is doing about marketing in an uncertain world. So thanks, Nicky, for joining us. My first question for you, Nicky, is how has your work as a marketing manager at Rayburn been affected by
Well, it's quite unrecognisable, the situation that we're in now, particularly in my role. I'm used to being surrounded by people, working with a full team who support me in the outreach of our marketing efforts, and today I'm sat at home. So when this hit us a few weeks ago, obviously nobody saw it coming. We were quickly sent home with IT in hand and set up. I said goodbye to my team, and they went home. Initially we all worked from home, and then the furlough scheme came in place, and a vast majority of my team were put onto that furlough scheme. So that is the way that they're supporting the business through this financial trauma as it is. So right now the marketing team consists of 2 of us, myself and my assistant manager Caroline. Me, for the first time in a long time, are getting my hands really dirty with the marketing. Obviously, I'm not managing a team who are outreaching that content. That is now myself and Caroline's job. And we are 100% focused on doing that and steering the marketing ship over the line. We're not thinking about how long this will last. We're thinking about how we steer it out the other side when it happens. So that's where we're at right now.
That's really interesting, Nicky, that as you say, you are now having to do this kind of hands-on work yourself. There's been a real shift in terms of responsibilities. You know, what exactly are you focusing on at the moment?
That was really mine and Caroline's major starting point, was deciding what are the absolute priorities right now, talking the next few weeks. So instantly we cut costs, naturally. We decided the main focus had to be that when we came out of this, that our websites continued to rank well, and that we'd maintained our brand awareness. We are actually responsible for 3 brands. So we have Rayburn Tours, which is educational trips, concert tours, sports tours. Then we have Venture Abroad, which is our sister company. They do international trips for guides and scouts. And then we have Sports Tours Limited, which is mainly UK-based rugby and football tournaments. So 3 websites and 3 brands that we knew we had to maintain brand awareness, and that our rankings maintained where they were. So the starting point for that was obviously social media. We put a big focus on social media and creating really good content to outreach, and likewise our websites, just having the time to really think about quality content. So right now, that is our main focus. After that point, a few weeks, we have another list of things that we think will be the priority, which will see us over the line.
Yeah, you mentioned, that's interesting that you're focusing on content. And I think as an agency, we're doing the exact same thing. So we're writing more blog posts, we're creating more content, we're creating more webinars, we're creating more videos as we look at it. As you look at it, what specifically are you actually doing different, Nicky, in terms of your content right now?
It's really different, and more different than ever. One, in the quality, because we have the time. We don't have stakeholders banging on our doors. We don't have sales teams bringing through new products. So we have the time to come up with these ideas. And Whereas before, a lot of our content was based around our destinations, everything that we're specialists at. Right now, all our specialists, most of them, are furloughed. So right now we have to focus on what credible content as marketeers we can create. And we're having to think about what, right now, our market in mass don't want to be inquiring about international trips. They're wanting a whole host of other things. So they're wanting to see articles about the resilience of children. And we're trying to stay within the realms of our market, so education. We are creating resources. So we created a lot of resources in the past for teachers that were geographical, were historical. And again, just time, I don't think we outreach those well. And I think going back and improving those resources has been a really good job. And we're now outreaching these really good quality pieces of content. Again, we're going back to those. So for now, I think we have to be really careful with our markets. We don't want to be seen to be that brand to going out and saying, Italy is fantastic, you know, go and do a geographical adventure here. But those doors will reopen and we will shift our focus at some point. But right now we're focusing on what everyone is craving right now. And that's where our efforts are on content.
I think that's really interesting because if I hear you correctly, what you're saying is you are taking evergreen content. You had great content that you had already. You had a strong understanding of your existing client base, mm-hmm. so that you're communicating with them even better, more closely, maybe shifting your message according to what they need right now. But I think it's also interesting that you do have these resources and these assets that you're sitting on that you're able to repurpose and reuse. Is that really fundamentally or are you creating new content, fresh, brand new?
Yes, we are as well. So we're going back to the old, doing what we should have done well in the first place. So that's criticism of the way we were working. I've learned a lot by having this isolation, more critical of what we've done previously. And we are also creating a lot of new content. So myself and Caroline, we decided the starting point of the strategy was content. In the few weeks that we've had, we have literally done nothing else. We've remained focused on that. And I think we have around 40 new pieces of fresh, really good content.
That's really interesting. So that you're totally focusing on the content piece, mm-hmm. and it sounds like you're churning out. It's interesting that you have the perfect combination of churning out volume of content of the right quality. Now, the other thing that you mentioned that I thought was interesting is you're then combining this great either fresh or evergreen content with outreach. Tell me a little bit more about that. What are you doing differently at the moment with your outreach?
I think previously what we didn't do well was research where the best places would be for us to outreach content. So even just on the basic levels, obviously we have a lot of media partners, and when we post on social, we're very good at tagging them in and getting them to share it and approaching them directly to put it on their blogs and website. But I think we got too comfortable. And we sat on a media list, essentially, of outreach, which had very little thought behind it. Whereas now, myself and Caroline are sat looking at this fantastic piece of content we've got in front of us and really researching where else can this go? Where can we get websites with high domain authorities to take it? And we're already seeing the successes of that. So.
That's interesting, because one of the questions that I'm often being asked by marketeers is, how much are we doing differently right now that is then going to stick? How much are you doing differently now that as we move forward out of the lockdown that you think you're going to continue to do? What do you think, Nicky? Are you going to continue to work in this kind of new way? You're talking about evaluating resources. Is this going to stick, do you think?
I think it has to.
Yeah.
I think it has to, because the problem is we've got a very unrealistic benchmark at the moment, haven't we? I feel like I'm being so productive, creating great content, doing the outreach lists. But the fact of the matter is we haven't got new products coming through, so it's allowing that time. So the reality is we'll have to go back to an element of the old norm. That has to happen, but there will be a batch of things that I will just be saying no to, and remembering the positives of this that we're learning right now, which we're learning on the job again.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I think I'm seeing it within our own agency, and I'm seeing it with our clients, that there is this kind of explosion of creativity because we do have perhaps a little luxury of time. I like the point you made that we don't have our colleagues barking down our shoulders saying do stuff, that we can then improve the quality. So you've changed these kind of things, but overall, Nikki, has your marketing strategy changed at all?
Well, if you're talking about marketing strategy for what was in place prior to us all going home, then absolutely, yes, it's changed. It's unrecognisable. Our marketing strategy would have included offline, online, events, the whole mix. That's the beauty of internal marketing department, is that we're dealing with the whole bag. And right now it's focusing on two things: content. Well, no, three things: content, improving the website, so getting all the title tags, meta descriptions. It's really focused. It will never be this focused ever again.
Yeah, yeah, and as and as you say, you're also, the reason it's so focused is because you have prioritized well, haven't you? You have figured out this is what I want to focus on. So it's going to be my search visibility. So you're working on your search engine optimization and fine tuning that content. Great content, search engine friendly in any event, as we look at these kind of things. As you're coming up with these cool ideas, and I think they are cool ideas, where are you getting your inspiration from for these kind of things that you're doing?
Well, I'm not getting it from our competitors at the moment. So I obviously I take a look at what everyone's doing in our market. I'm really happy with the approach that we're taking, and I think it's the right one looking at the market right now. Overall, I'm taking my inspiration from the world, the way everyone is adapting, the way suppliers, whether that be goods or services, are adapting their approach, their kindness to the world. I think we're all much kinder. And I think with that honesty and that openness, that's what I'm trying to take forward into our marketing, definitely.
And I would agree. I've written a blog post about, in terms of this kind of empathy with our clients and understanding of our clients. And my guess would be is probably that formed part of your marketing before. You're just changing the balance on these kind of things as well. I was going to also ask you, just out of curiosity, how is it, Nikki, working from home? I know you have a young family. How's your personal productivity at home?
I'm very productive. But that's because I've got my children of an age where I can say to them from 6:30 in the morning till midday, don't interrupt me. And then we have the rest of the day. But I personally feel hugely productive. But I think, again, sadly, it's because I've not got my team around me, which is a crying shame, and I miss them desperately. But as I'm actually getting to the end of jobs, which I never feel like I get to the end of when I'm in the office. So yes, very productive.
And do you think that you might continue to work at home a little bit once things start to settle down?
Well, who knows? It wasn't. I know that you guys at Hallam do have a working from home policy in place prior to this. We didn't. So we have never worked from home. So it will be very interesting to see after all this what the director's stance is on it, but I like it.
Watch this space, as you say. Yeah, yeah. We've covered a lot of ground, Nikki. It's been interesting to talk about, how you're changing your marketing, in terms of your overarching strategy. We've talked about the specific tactics that you're doing in terms of the change in your tactics and your approach. If I were to ask you, your three top tips, what are the three things you want to leave us with in terms of your experience with this at the moment?
I think be honest and open in your marketing, and with that will come certainty for your markets, and I think that's what they're craving right now. I would say pick your battles, remain focused once you pick those battles. Yes, many of us will have less hands on the marketing ship, and we'll have less stakeholders around us. Take advantage of that, and pick your battles well. And the last one will be just get your ship in order quickly. Don't think about how long this is going to last. make your list and work through it methodically and quickly, because when these doors do reopen, we want to be there and we want to be ready.
Great. That's great, Nikki. That's been really useful. I've learned lots of things chatting with you, and I really liked your 3 tips in terms of, you know, focus on what you're doing and getting it done. Choose your battles that you want to fight and perhaps those that you want to leave behind. But overall, just be open and honest in your communications. This is what your clients want from you. I would argue this is what our colleagues want from us. This is what our partners want from us. But I do like, you know, your point, you know, pick the battles you want to fight and then focus on winning them. That's great. Well, Nikki, I want to say thank you for spending some time with me. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you ever so much. I send you my very, very best wishes for the future. I will be watching for you. I want to say thanks for sharing your experience. This, by the way, then I hope you've enjoyed this as much as I have. As we look at it, I'd like to say a huge thank you to Nicky Astle. She is the marketing manager at Rayburn Tours. Her topic today was marketing in an uncertain world. This has been Hallam TV. I hope you've enjoyed meeting Nicky. I'm going to be organizing additional one-on-one conversations. I'd invite you to subscribe to our channel. I'd invite you to read our blog. But most of all, I wish you all the very best with your own marketing. Wishing you all the best then. Bye now.